The deadline is over. Trade deadline is in the rearview mirror, and the Mets have a haul that raises some questions but answers a few more. We're going to break that down, look at what we got rolling into the back half of the 2024 season. Before we get to all of that, what's going on? It's Flobo Boys. You are locked into Mets Digest, your one-stop shop for Mets content all around the world. And your boy's tired, man. I've been hitting that refresh button all day, trying to see what's going on with them trades. But, one button you can help me out and press is that subscribe button. We're building a channel here. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscriptions. You can tell right now we're within 100 of those. We need your help to do it, to climb up the rankings. We need you to be part of the team. Stay true to the orange and blue by hitting that subscribe button for all those people over there in that not subscribed 93.2% level. I'm looking at you. All right, 2024, the trade deadline is officially done. David Stearns, president of baseball operations, that is a name you're going to hear a lot over the next few minutes, did his thing. What it is right now is some noted improvements, is my first impressions, but nothing too glamorous, nothing too sexy. In a trade deadline that had Jack Flaherty go into the Dodgers, it's Soler going back to Atlanta, there really wasn't anything on the blockbuster side for us, but something to think about. So this right here is from Anthony Dacomo. The Mets are done. No last minute deals. I was kind of waiting to see if that was going to be a lie, but so far it seems to be the case that this is pretty much what we got. Jesse Winker already playing. Stanek Maton already playing. Blackburn was, I guess, the bigger deal today. We actually reported that here on Mets Digest. And of course, the last additions were Tyler Zuber and Huasca Brazoban, which are very interesting pickups, but for different reasons. And we'll get to that in just a minute. So I just want to address the elephant in the room. I know people were kind of hoping for Crochet. People were kind of hoping for a big name along those lines. Maybe a Blake Snell, like I said yesterday on MLB Network Radio. Jeff Passan, I said, Snell will be something that the Mets would be in for, just kind of offhand. But when Jeff Passan says something offhand, you know that everyone starts talking. But I do think what we got was very interesting. And I think the other thing is really more interesting. I think the most interesting pickup of what we have so far is that of Tyler Zuber. Tyler Zuber has only played about 2 games with a 2.7 ERA. And so when I saw that come across the wire, I was a little bit surprised. But hey, Tyler's surprised too. It looks like he is down to be part of the festivities, a part of the shenanigans by saying aside from the new chapter with the Mets, hashtag LGM. And so David Stearns himself had a press conference right after the deadline was over, which is a plus mark for me for his transparency. Didn't have to do this. And on the issue about Tyler Zuber, had this to say. That his pitch shapes have changes. He's made some usage adjustments. Stearns said he's thinking about the ability to get both-sided hitters out. He's someone that, frankly, we've been talking with the Rays about for a couple of weeks, and we're able to line up today. And, well, I don't want to use the term fire sale, but the Rays pretty much understood that this season is over for them. And so, hey, if they're down to clown, I don't say why not. But that really wasn't the only signing on the late afternoon within the last 2 hours of the trade deadline. We did get Huasca Brazoban seen here. Coming from Miami, you talk about the fire sales, you talk about things that were happening with the Miami Marlins. I mean, that was the best case scenario, a dumpster fire if I ever saw one myself. And so you saw almost the entire team just go elsewhere. Jazz Chisholm's in New York. Josh Bell is eventually going to Arizona. There were so many teams that would be in that selling position, but with the expanded playoffs, it really came down to two teams that were willing to offload a bunch of that, and they all happened to be Floridian teams. Bronson was an absolute beast. We saw them recently when the Mets played them when they had that series over there in Miami, and it really was a little bit more, or a lot of it more, of a bit of a pass. Let's check that stat line here. So the innings pitch is pretty solid as well in that ERA sub 3, 293. Even though he's in his age 34 season, definitely has shown a little bit of the Houdini action with his pitch arsenal, and that's something that can help us fortify that bullpen as well. And that's exactly what you need. And I think that's just kind of the theme we're getting here. You're seeing these moves, these adjustments. And what that means is that we're going to have someone on the back end with our starter situation with Blackburn. We have a little bit of a bullpen that is evolving in the right direction. Still, you can see some holes, but definitely a lot better than we before. But most importantly, I think we said this in a couple of videos throughout the day on Mets Digest coverage. We did not have to give up the theoretical farm to make this a possibility. There's only one prospect that was in the top 20 as far as the Mets prospects were concerned that were going elsewhere, but all the big signings from last year, all the ace signings we got when we offloaded in the middle of last year are still inside the Mets camp. And again, the mission here is to build something that is for now and for later, using parts that tend to have team control. And this is what we're seeing with this deadline. So again, the name of the game is just nice measured choices because the market was definitely a seller's market. Some of the prices were astronomical. Some people on the Houston Astros fan base, for example, have said they pay out way too much to get pieces to be competitive. No one is really saying that about New York. And I always say this, you can talk about trade deadlines all you want until you're blue in the face, but winning solves everything. And if I go back to 2022, if Darren Ruff came over and hit 40 bombs, we wouldn't care that we gave up 4 prospects for him 2 years ago. Or if we're winning in the top half of 2023, we wouldn't care that we would have essentially become sellers or high adjusters last year. This is what you need to really build a team from the ground up. We've seen that with constructed teams like the Royals this season, the Arizona Diamondbacks last season, and the Philadelphia Phillies the season before. You're not going to be Atlanta and have 25 guys hitting 45 home runs and think that's going to be sustainable. You're not going to have these superstar pitchers top to bottom and think that's going to be sustainable. Those are short-term solutions. What you want to do is put yourself in an environment and culture between the pitch lab and the staff and all that stuff to really make these small moves that are very effective. At the end of the day, everyone's saying it's a win, but I want to know what you think. Were you expecting something bigger? Were you expecting a particular person? Could David Stearns have done more? Could we have given up other prospects you weren't a fan of? Let us know in the comments below because I'm excited for what we do. As I'm recording this, we just took 2 from the Minnesota Twins, and this is going to be a tough stretch for the team. We're currently 7 games, 500. We're in the wild card mix still, but that wasn't a possibility 2 months ago. Definitely wasn't a possibility a year ago. It only matters that this could be the good wave, but I want to know what you think about this year's trend line. What do you think about David Stearns? Think about the front office. Is there anyone that you would have picked up if you had the chance? I am all ears. But until next time, this is Mets Digest. My name is Lobo Boys. I'll catch you next time.